How about this, Kyle? A little competition. How about like this would be like a 2004 MTV style reality show. You remember it was kind of hog wild back then. So they take all these suave guys who are like absolute killers, lady killers, not murderers. And it's like it shows like the intro is obviously them picking up women in like nice cars. But the challenge is that they have to now pick up women in a windowless white van. That's the only car they're allowed to drive. And they cannot pick up women not sitting in the driver's side with an arm leaning out wearing
what do we call picking up
mesh
a woman?
backed
Getting
cap.
her in with you to let go?
Like getting throated by her.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're gonna need a prostitute for that. Like it's gonna be very difficult to. Like,
no, it's just getting them into the car.
Immediately...
Obviously, it's a real game.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It was wild back then, and then quickly they realized that they couldn't be that wild, and they started faking it, and nobody noticed. I'll tell you the exact moment it happened. It was in a little show called Scare Tactics, hosted by Shannon Doherty of Melrose 90210 fame, maybe
Beverly Hills
90210.
Yeah. Thanks. Those were before my time.
Melrose Place was the other. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So in that show, it was a hidden camera show where they essentially set up horror movie scenarios against people who were unsuspecting. So Dracula would actually show up with fucking like special effects and in a setting where you could it was vaguely believable. At work, at the very least, you would think that psychos were there to kill you.
Sure.
So that you would be hired to be like they would hire you. One of the ways they would get you, you'd be hired for a new job, and they'd sign you up on their payroll and put you somewhere as like a maintenance man or something. And they had this one guy in a place. I think this might have been one of the fake ones, but I can't remember for sure. But they had him in a place that was supposedly like a research lab where they were testing on animals and stuff. And they took a little person and they put him in a rat costume, and they did his face up so well that even when you like look at it in bright light, you're like, wait, what the fuck are you? Like you can't really tell. Like it really looks like some fucked up shit.
You can't tell.
And I promise you, Taylor. Like Zach maybe can find the picture of him. Anyway, the guy is a very effeminate gay man. And he's terrified of the rat creature that's clearly in the back of the lab, rustling around behind the cabinets. And he's like, "Are you okay, little man? Little man, are you?" Because it'll like it goes like screeches at him and shit.
I used to be a man.
Yeah.
But they had, I can't remember the exact one where it happened. I know there was a big lawsuit over like injuries and stuff, because what people would do when they're put in that fight or flight situation, they always expect him to run and be They put this one guy in a car. Here's the scenario. The scenario is called The Hitcher. Basically, you've probably seen this in movies
that is
before.
Scary.
That's messed up.
You got the whole body, because he's like gimped up like a little person with the short limbs and stuff, and they got his whole body in a thing, and it was scary to the person, and it looked real to me as a kid for sure. Yeah, look at that. You see how it moved, dude? That thing came out of nowhere, and he thinks he's like a maintenance man at a research lab. Like it was.
That's messed up.
That's a pretty funny gift.
So that one's funny. That's the show at its best. Now the show at its worst is a clip from a thing called The Hitcher, and basically, a guy is. I think there's like an Uber type situation, and he's driving this dude out to a party. He thinks he's going outside of Vegas to a party. He's got like a special invite or something. I can't remember what the hook was to get him in the car, but he's in the car thinking he's going to a cool place. There's a scary like guy in the middle of nowhere on this lonely road outside Vegas hitching, and the driver's like, "I'm gonna get him." So now a crazy man's in the car, and he's being real weird. He's this big dude too, and just the conversation's not going well. Like immediately you're uncomfortable with this dude's in the car with you. You're like, "Shit, I wouldn't have given you a ride, dude. Damn, you're this." And then he's like, "Hey, pull over, and I need to take care of something. Pull over." And he like pulls the emergency brake and like stops the car, and he gets out and goes off to piss. You presume. He leaves his bag behind. He's got kind of like a satchel, like a bowling bag almost.
Jesus.
And the driver starts fucking with it. And the Mark, the guy who's not in on any of this shit, is like, "Nah, man, don't fuck with his bag. He'll be right back. Don't fuck with his bag." And when he opens it, flies come out, like real flies, and they're in the car. And he's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And it's a human head that looks real enough wrapped in cellophane. And the cellophane disguises any like fakery.
Oh, geez.
And so he's like, "Close it, close it, close it." And he's like, "Get out of here, get out of here." And at that moment, the guy's back. And the guy gets back in the car. The flies are now in the car, though, dude. So as they're driving now, there's this awkward weirdness that the flies are out of the bag. And he goes, "You look in my bag?" And he's like, "Nah, man, nah." And even the guy in the back's like, "Fuck no, we didn't look in your bag. That shit wouldn't be cool."
Wow.
He's like, "You look at my fucking bag," and it like escalates, and then the fight starts. And the guy in the back comes over the seat and starts pounding our fucking stranger actor, beating his ass. And they got to pull that. Stop! It's a prank, bro. Shit, this is scare tactics.
That's so far beyond
a little too
prank.
far. Yeah, that's a little too far, bro.
They
Like,
did an alien. It might be the alien abduction that got him sued. I can't remember the specific one, but the alien abduction had.
Dude, that
like,
sounds way less intense than like a fake human head.
I think they had dead bodies in that one, and like real aliens, and a helicopter light in the sky
What a
type
production.
situation.
Did that
Yeah,
ever
it
air?
always. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's so they did 2 seasons, I think, with Shannon Doherty. That's when it's real. And then Tracy Morgan took over and did like 3 or 4 more seasons where it's very much like scripted because they got sued. So it's like, yeah, it's not as funny then. And Tracy Morgan's, I like him in some stuff. I love him at 30 Rock, but he can't be the host of a goddamn show. Like, he couldn't do that. He didn't do that well. But yeah,
His
I
improv
think
isn't that great to do that.
I liked him in interviews. He's really good on going off on these
Sometimes,
ridiculous tangents and like crazy scenarios and stories and stuff. But he doesn't
think
need
he has
that.
a funny cadence.
That
like
too.
that.
And he doesn't need to do anything ever again, though, after that Walmart truck.
The
hit him.
Walmart
That's-
thing, I love that about him. Just made buku bucks
How
on it.
hurt is he?
Well,
He practically lost a leg.
He doesn't move well.
Okay. Yeah,
It was
I've
bad.
talked about this guy before. I was on a college
it's
swim
worse than I
team
thought then.
with a guy that was run over by a street sweeper. I
It's good
think
for
it
him,
might have
Pat.
been a trash truck. It was one of those, and he had a scar on his like arm bicep area, but he was fine. Like he was a collegiate swimmer, right? Like, this is not a guy who's disabled really, and I know he got $150,000 as a kid for that injury. And it's just not that 150 grand makes you rich, but you get that at 3. And
Yeah, it's a nice place to start, right?
Life has a good head start. He didn't
Did he
exit
get it?
college with any debt. Yeah.
Did that? Okay. Because you hear about that with like child stars,
Yeah.
where they make millions. And I guess, was this like the 70s,
Well, the parents
80s?
invested, right?
Or they steal it.
I wasn't
Or the
deep
parents
into his
steal it
finances,
sometimes.
but I know that the money was in his name, and I know that that's how he was paying
Under a
for his
trust.
college. So, it wasn't blown or anything.